So what's going on, guys? It's Jim, it's Speakboxing. Make sure you subscribe to my channel before you click onto any of my videos. Also comment below in the comment section if you have any opinions on what I'm saying in any of my videos. So recently Sky Sports released the episode of The Gloves Are Off between Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko, where both men are face to face for their fight on April 29th. And in this episode of The Gloves Are Off, Anthony Joshua states that Vladimir Klitschko won't find any weakness in him, and he is looking for the knockout on April 29th. To quote Anthony Joshua here, he says, "It's my time. I don't think he will find a weakness. So many boxes to be ticked, but I am going for a knockout. That's what I do. I haven't experienced losing as a professional, so I can only talk about my experience in the past. But I am going for a knockout. He is harder to hit, I am aware of that, but I know potentially there is more than one way to skin a cat. I'm trying to make this simple as possible, and it's my job to make my opponent look like a novice. I hear a lot about age, but it's a young man's sport. At the time, he has his experience, which will be good to see you through a few rounds, but then the youth, excitement, adrenaline and speed will start causing issues. You can't prepare for what I bring to the table, no matter how much experience you have." So Anthony Joshua making a very bold statement here, saying that Vladimir Klitschko won't find any weakness in him, and he is going for the knockout, saying Vladimir Klitschko's experience will help him get through a couple of rounds, but then Joshua's just going to take over and get Vladimir Klitschko out of there. And Anthony Joshua seems to be oozing with confidence lately. Don't get me wrong, he's still a very laid-back character. He's still not gassing himself up, but I think Anthony Joshua knows what a big deal he can be in the sport of boxing. He sees his numbers, he sees his paychecks, he sees the amount of fans that give him attention. I think he knows with a win here that propels him to the next height in the sport of boxing. Don't get me wrong, Anthony Joshua is already a big star in boxing, but if he beats Vladimir Klitschko and knocks Vladimir Klitschko out on April 29th, then that will propel him to new heights, not just in British boxing, but in world boxing. And I can't count Vladimir Klitschko out though, even though he hasn't looked very good in his last couple of fights, and he is 41 years of age. But this is a man who's very experienced. This is a man who can do things in the ring, who can move, who can punch, who can make it hard for fighters in there. But Anthony Joshua's power could be a factor, but Vladimir Klitschko hits very hard as well. People seem to forget this. People are thinking Anthony Joshua's the only one with the power in this fight, but Vladimir Klitschko hits very hard. This is the guy with 53 knockouts and 64 fights. I know Anthony Joshua's had 18 fights with 18 knockouts, but I've seen Vladimir Klitschko flatten guys, and he could very well do that to Anthony Joshua. But I think if Vladimir Klitschko is going to win this fight, it'll be by decision. I think he will be cautious in this fight, Vladimir Klitschko, and he'll try and win the fight, being the smarter fighter, possibly trying to grind out a decision against Anthony Joshua. Because I don't see Vladimir Klitschko standing there trading with Anthony Joshua, because he's not that kind of fighter. He's the kind of fighter, when a fighter starts putting a bit of heat on him, he ties the guy up, or he tries to tie the guy up. Who knows if Anthony Joshua will be too strong for Vladimir Klitschko to tie up. But he's not the kind of guy who'll sit and start exchanging with you, because at the end of the day, Vladimir Klitschko hasn't got the best chin in the world. Like we've seen this in his career when he was knocked out 3 times, and then he linked up with Manny Stewart and changed his style, and that's how he dominated the sport, by tying opponents up, by employing a jab grab style. But we also don't know about Anthony Joshua's chin. Like there's been rumours about Anthony Joshua's chin for a couple of years now. You had David Price coming out saying he knocked Anthony Joshua out. You had Lawrence Okoli apparently dropping Anthony Joshua in sparring, and we saw it when he fought Dillian White. He was rocked. So people say Anthony Joshua could knock Vladimir Klitschko out, but Vladimir Klitschko carries power as well, and who knows if he lands a correct shot on Anthony Joshua. Don't get me wrong, he is very experienced, so he could find a way to land that shot on Anthony Joshua and put him away. and then the gravy train will come to a halt. But I'm hoping Anthony Joshua wins this fight. I'm not going to say he's going to win the fight, but I'm hoping he wins it just for the fact we've seen the Klitschko era. We've seen Klitschko carry world title belts. People called it the dark time in the heavyweight division because he was there in Germany holding the belts and fighters were going over there, and the world heavyweight title scene was very boring in fans' eyes. But with Anthony Joshua here now holding a belt, with Joseph Parker holding a belt, with Deontay Wilder holding a belt, the heavyweight division has opened up and it's a very exciting division. So I hope Anthony Joshua wins this fight, just because I want to see some great fights at heavyweight. And I think if Anthony Joshua can beat Klitschko, these fights can be made and a new era of heavyweight boxing can be made. Because with Vladimir Klitschko, I've seen it, but I'm not going to count Vladimir Klitschko out because the guy is so experienced, he hits hard, he obviously sees something in Anthony Joshua that he can exploit, because Vladimir Klitschko is also very confident. He's saying he's obsessed with this fight. He knows the dangers Anthony Joshua brings. He knows what can jeopardize him. So I'm very interested to see what game plan Vladimir Klitschko employs here. That's why I'm not making a judgment on this fight. I'm hoping Joshua wins, but I'm not going to say he's going to outright win and he's going to knock Vladimir Klitschko out, because I know the kind of fighter Vladimir Klitschko is. And if he can find the Vladimir Klitschko from a few years ago in this fight, then Anthony Joshua is in for a very hard night. And yeah, this is just my opinion on this. I'm not going to go too much into it. How long's this video gone? Nearly 7 minutes. Yeah, I think that's enough. Anyway, comment below in the comment section. It's JM, it's Speak.